And first at 5:30, connect to Providence. There is a lot happening in Providence, and Mayor Brett Smiley is standing by now to answer your questions. Off the top, for Emily Bowles, I'm Dan Jaehnig. Mayor, always good to see you.
Happy to see you too.
Let's talk a little bit about the bike lane. We haven't really heard about that in a while, and the nice weather's coming back, and some people have been asking me to ask you about where we stand here. Are we going to stick with it? Are we going to bring it back? Where are we?
So the bike lane is moving. It's moving off-road. It's going kind of on an extended sidewalk to the current sidewalk. We have a final design. We have preliminary engineering studies. We have the money. We are in front of the federal government for what's called a NEPA review. They have to do an environmental review. A little frustrated. It seems a little ridiculous. All we're doing is pulling up the stanchions and removing the bus islands to go back for another government approval. But as soon as the federal government says you're good to go, then we'll start digging. And
do you feel like that is a compromise? Everyone seems to be on board with this right now?
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that a good compromise is everyone's a little disappointed, but yeah.
But businesses really, because they really were the ones that
Businesses are very happy with the outcome. There's going to be 2 lanes of travel and preserve all the parking on both sides. That'll be easier to access because they're 2 lanes of travel. It's actually better for cyclists to be off-road. It's safer for cyclists to be off-road. And so I think at the end of the day, everyone's going to love it.
Okay. Yeah. We want to talk about the Superman building because this seems to be going on and on and on. It's still vacant. It is kind of, when you drive into Providence, besides the State House, you see the Superman building and, of course, Providence City Hall. It's kind of known for it. Where are we in terms of moving forward here? We're hearing a lot of different stories.
So the building owner and developer has applied for a federal program that'll help fill what is a little bit of a gap that they have, as we've discussed in the past. Interest rates have gone up, construction costs have gone up. They've raised more private money, which is great. They're waiting on approval for a federal loan program that would be a loan, not a grant. And then I've got a piece of legislation at the State House this year to give them a sales tax rebate on the construction materials, which will also help them save a little bit of money on development costs. And I think it's a smart move because the state was never going to receive those sales tax if they never bought the materials, if they never moved forward. So it's money the state doesn't currently have and wouldn't have if the project didn't move forward.
And the people behind it are still gung-ho and they still have
They're still gung-ho, but the reality is no one's going to start a project that big to lose money. And so they need a little bit more support. We're helping them find it. It's really not coming out of existing state or local taxpayers' pockets. It's a federal program that they're applying for, and then this sales tax rebate.
Yeah, and do you think that, that building, obviously, I don't think they're going to be able to knock windows out and make it bigger. I mean, is there an appeal to live in a building like that? Do you think that?
I think it'll rent in a minute.
Really?
I think particularly in the top floors, the views are going to be spectacular. There'll be some of the most interesting apartments in Providence. There's still a huge unmet need for residential living in the city. People are moving to Providence every day. There's not enough homes for them. Occupancy rate in our current apartments is well over 90%. So I don't have any doubt that those apartments will rent. I think it'll be an exciting place to live.
All right, I know you were asked about this earlier with a lot of our colleagues in terms of the parking garage at Providence Place over the weekend. You may have seen a story that we did yesterday where a woman had just stopped in to get some, I don't know, curtains or a bed cover, and she was stuck in the garage for 3 hours. Now, I know as a reporter, I covered this years ago, that the confusion, but this seems to have to do with the gate that's opening. They installed new gates that are opening. I mean, this isn't a good look for the city, even though it's not a city, garage.
Yeah, no, I learned about it from the media as well. And if that were me stuck in my car in that garage for 2 hours, I'd be apoplectic. And so it's terrible. The receiver, who is the people who own the mall right now, functionally run the mall, they need to fix this. They should have just opened the gates. I mean, as you know, the first 2 hours are free and then it's $1 afterwards. So who cares about the dollar? Open the gates and let people out, because now they've got a bad taste in their mouth about our mall. So I've put a call into the receiver to try to push him on what his plan is to fix this. If it ever happens again, to just open the gates. But that's terrible that happened over the weekend.
Right, and I want to ask you about that because obviously this was the weekend. Their thing was everything was great, and it was a weekend of big events. You had a parade, you had some other events there. Obviously, you get the NCAA coming, and you're going to have a lot of events. And Providence obviously is attracting a lot more events. So, is there a push to basically open those gates?
That's going to be my push on the receiver. As you say, this is not our mall. It's not my parking garage.
But it's your city.
It's my city, and so I can't force them to do it. But I'm going to put pressure on them to make sure that the system is fixed and to have a contingency plan that if for some reason this sort of backup exists in the future, that they'll they'll just open the gates and let people out.
And I suppose that you don't own the garage, but as mayor, you have to look out for the safety of people.
Yeah.
And anyone in the car for 3 hours, I mean, God forbid if she was in labor, this becomes a safety issue, and then they go into gridlock. So I mean, you do have that on your back when you approach these receivers.
Oh, I have confidence that the receiver will hear me out. When the mayor calls, particularly around a public safety incident, they're going to take it seriously. This is an issue they know that they have a problem with. They've talked about it.
Well, they've had it before. I mean, I remember when this first opened, I did stories about it, right?
That garage is sort of crazy. There's some dead ends, but nevertheless, this is inexcusable. And as you rightly point out, a week and a half from now, we're going to have tens of thousands of basketball fans from around the country here. The hotels are full, which is wonderful.
Right.
And a lot of people are going to park in that garage.
Right. I want to ask you this because I don't know the answer. So, I'm putting you on the spot here. But I remember years ago as a reporter when I did an investigative story that they had problems actually fitting fire trucks in there if there was fires. Has that been? Do we know where we stand on that? I mean, if there's a fire on the third floor of a car, do we know where that stands?
Never
heard that?
I've never heard of that,
Okay.
and our fire department has never flagged that as a concern. So I would believe that that's been resolved.
All right. It's been a month or so since the pallet houses have come in. We're hearing a success story. We're hearing a lot of different stories. What is your takeaway so far based on what you know?
What I know is that they're nearly full. They've been moving people in phases so that they can have the services to go along with the housing. And probably the most important thing is that no news is good news. We've had zero calls for service from police or fire. We've had no complaints from the neighbors. It's all running smoothly. And so now that we've finally got over this hurdle, finally opened these darn things up, people are living there. And it's a good option for people who've been difficult to place in other shelter space. I think it's a good addition. I hope there's more.
All right, tax increases. We only have 30 seconds, and that's a big subject to ask with 30 seconds left. How much is the average person going to see based on the conundrum you've been in?
They will find out in the beginning of April when I release my budget. But I want to reassure we're in a reval year, which means people got a new appraisal for their house. The values went up over 40% in most neighborhoods. Just because your valuation went up 40%, your tax bill will not go up 40%. The rates will come down, and your tax bill will not be increased by that level. I'm doing everything I can to cut expenses from the city budget and to find other revenue to minimize the pressure on having to raise taxes.
But you don't have a dollar amount
Not yet.
on your
We're not finished with the budget yet.
All right, Mayor, they're stopping us there. But as always, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And of course, Emily, what's coming up next?